Tottenham Hotspurs currently train here at the state-of-the-art facility, which is the Hotspur Way Training Centre, which includes a whopping 15 grass football pitches. However, as Spurs focus on bringing in new players this transfer window, they're also currently working on something else. The story continues 5 minutes down the road. Here in Whitewebbs Park used to sit a golf course. However, after it shut down back in 2021, the council decided to sell the 240 plus acres of green open space. After 5 bids were considered, including a dog course, event centre and mountain bike trail, Spurs' bid came out on top. They want to build another training centre, this time one exclusively for their women and girls teams, on a 25-year lease. Tottenham say they would use the northern half of the site for the football and the southern half left alone for the public, adding toilets, a cafe and even more facilities. Despite this, the proposal is very controversial. Many Enfield residents are upset about this and want the whole park to be left alone.
Tottenham Hotspur have their training ground in Enfield, which is the far north of London, quite near the M25. They've got their training ground next to a park called Whitewebbs. This is the training ground they built, I think, in around 2012. It's quite a modern training ground, very large. I've been there. A couple of years ago, the Enfield Council announced that they were going to lease an area of Whitewebbs Park next to Tottenham's training ground for leisure purposes. And then there was all kinds of speculation as to what that really meant. You know, some people were speculating there might be a theme park built there, all sorts of things. Then gradually it began to emerge that there was, you know, these talks going on with Tottenham Hotspur. We found out that the council leader had been to a Tottenham Hotspur match, been given free tickets to a Tottenham Hotspur match, and then we got the confirmation from the council that Tottenham Hotspur had won this sort of bidding process for this lease. So it's a 25-year lease. This section of the park, it's around half the park, used to be a golf course. It was like a municipal golf course the council ran, but they closed it sort of during the pandemic. And since then, it's kind of been taken over by, dog walkers and that sort of thing. So, but people, I think local people around here are sort of asking, why isn't there sort of space on their existing, massive training complex that they only built 10 years ago to house the women's team?
A group called Friends of Whitewebbs Park, chaired by Sean Wilkinson, have come out against the plans, upset with the lack of detail, loss of land and misleading messages from Enfield Council. Sean's group would like a judicial review on the situation and need £40,000 to finance this. So far, 274 people have already raised over 18,000 of this. Additionally, the council have also received 788 objections to the plan, and a petition to stop the construction has gotten nearly 5,000 signatures.
It sort of comes from the fact that, like, Whitewebbs Park is a much loved public space in Enfield. Enfield is it's an outer London borough, as I said, far north of London, but very large area of Enfield is made up of green belts. And I think that's what people sort of love about Enfield, is that there's these huge green open spaces. So any threat to those kind of spaces is always going to get a lot of opposition. This one is, like I say, is complex because it used to be a golf course. So the council's sort of argument is, well, it was a golf course and now it's just going to be used for football. It's basically, it's been used for sport for decades and it's going to continue being used for sport. But the argument from the local residents who are opposing it is that, golf is different. There was never a fence around the golf course. It's always had a footpath through it. It's always been somewhere you can just walk through at your leisure. We don't know the full details yet of this new complex Tottenham want to build, but without doubt, it's going to be fenced off because they're not going to allow people to just sort of run onto these football pitches while the women are training. The Friends of Whitewebbs Park and residents are sort of clubbing together, putting some money together to challenge this in court. And there's a lot of technical legal stuff sort of around these sort of laws that go back, a long time, like 100 years, laws around the way that Whitewebbs Park was originally sort of designated as a public space going back over a century.
Although the proposal still looks set to go ahead, Enfield Council have insisted that it's the right thing to do. Council leader Nezel Kaliskan arguing that since the closure of the golf club, the park has made a significant loss and the money is needed for the upkeep of the park. Furthermore, the council will reinvest £100,000 worth of the rent to go towards grassroots football in the area. Tottenham Hotspur's chairman, Daniel Levy, commented, "We're committed to preserving and enhancing the natural environmental habitat of the site, just as we have done with our existing training centre. The Women and Girls Football Academy will be a pioneering institution, nurturing talent at the grassroots level and inspiring participation in the sport."
Women's football, you want to support women's football. You know, there's a lot of growth in women's football and girls football, and you want to be providing those facilities.
Right.
You want to be encouraging that, and I think Tottenham would, as part of this deal with the council, Tottenham would be giving the council some money to invest in grassroots sport and other things. The money is an interesting thing though, because it's around £2 million for this 25-year lease, which, if you think about it, is sort of loose change for Tottenham. So that's another sort of bone of contention, is that you know, obviously Tottenham have a lot of money, and although they are giving the council some money, and there will be, like you say, there'll be positive impacts from that, it's perhaps not quite as much as they could have potentially been given the council.
Overall, this is quite a difficult situation. Of course, for Tottenham to build this, it would be the first of its kind, specifically for women, and it would be a big step forward in the women's game. However, on the other hand, I completely understand where the local residents are coming from. You know, I don't live too far from this area. We always love to walk through it, see loads of people coming through with dogs or just to go on a stroll, although on a day like this where it's raining, I probably won't be staying for too much longer. However, you know, it's a lovely place. Nearly 100 different types of bats and birds live here. There's loads of other insects and animals, squirrels, all sorts running around, and it'd be a shame to have almost half of the area completely wiped out for some AstroTurf football pitches. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like, subscribe, share and comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.